वर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरम् हरिकथा सम्बोधनमबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालम् पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः.
Let's start at verse 11.
Okay. Verse 11?
Yeah, verse 11, just because it's 5 to 1, I don't think we'll get all the way through it.
Sri Bhagavanuvacha Ashocyananvashocastvam Prajnavadanscha bhashase Gatasuna Nanushocanti panditaः na tvevaham jagunasam na tvam neme janadhipaः na chaivana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyati matra sparshastu kaunteya Shitoshna sukha dukkhadah agamapayino nityaha tamsi tikshasva bharata yam hinam yatayantyete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate nasato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha ubhayorapi drishtontaha Tvanayostatvadarshibihi avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamavyayasyasya यस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत येनं वेत्ति हन्तारम् यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यं येनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ खं घातयति हन्तिकम् वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. भाष्य यह एनं प्रकृतं देहिनं नो wrong न प्रकृतं one before that, right? Yeah. I was ahead. This sounds more familiar. Antavantah. Okay. Antavantah. Anto vinasho vidyate yesham te antavantah. This is just a grammatical thing. What is antavantah? That which is subject to end. Endings. Anta, endings. That is what antavantah. He doesn't stop there. He has one more thing to say about these things that are subject to ending. And he says, yatha, just like mriga trishnakadau sadbuddhihi anuvritta pramana nirupanante vichhidyate saha tasyaha antah tatha ime dehaha swapnamayadi dehadivat cha antavantaha. So what is antavantaha? Ime deha. These bodies are destructible, correct? These bodies are destructible, meaning the bodies, the body is just an idea. That's what he proposes. Yeah, the body is not what you think. Sthula. Sthula means what? Gross. Yes, occupying space. A lot of space sometimes. And then and seated in one place. And if this body is in this place, naturally it cannot be in any other place. So this is what the feeling is. And so therefore, these bodies, is just an idea. And what kind of an idea it is? It is an idea like even Mrigatrishna. What is Mrigatrishna? Huh? Mirage, yes. So the mirage is an idea born out of the hot head of someone roaming in the sandy regions in a desert, caught in the desert. It's a wishful thinking. It's a manifest idea. And then what happens to that idea? It poofs. Yes. Adarshanam gataha. When it goes away, poof, disappears. The idea of the mirage water disappears. When does it disappear? Nirupanante. When the proper kind of analysis, the light of proper analysis is applied to that idea. On that idea, like yesterday we talked about this in detail, it scutters away. Like even a bug not wanting to be found out. When you have to come home and switch the light on, everything just goes under something or the other. It's an idea. And what kind of an idea is it? It's an idea that just poofs in and poofs out. So it goes. Mostly not there. Just like even the mirage. And what does the mirage, what inheres the mirage, what is invariable in the mirage is the sad buddhi, is buddhi. The is buddhi goes and joins the imaginary mirage and brings the mirage to life, to light. What kind of a mirage? A non-existent mirage. Correct? And similarly, the body is an idea that is superimposed upon the Atma, which is Sat. Just like the mirage is superimposed on the Sat Buddhi. Oh, that I need to think about. Don't think too much. But this is what it is. This is what he says. That's why he says, Antavantaha. Antavantaha means both come to an end. When does the mirage come to an end? As soon as the mirage is withdrawn, when one is understanding, when one deploys the proper pramana and falsifies this mirage in the light of the proper pramana. And the proper pramana could be just rubbing the sand from the eyes and looking again. Okay, all there is sand, 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 more sand. No water yet. Okay? So, the proper deployment of the eyes show that it is a mirage. And what kind of pramana, shows that the body is an idea? Adhyatma Vidya as the Shruti. Shruti pramana. Shruti says that Shruti doesn't say body is an idea. Shruti says that all there is I, which happens to be embodied. Because how do you know? I am, and he's going to say this later. I am, I know. This all there is this I. And everything is an as though superimposition on this I, including the body. Just like the mirage is a superimposition on your Sat Buddhi, the body is a superimposition on Sat. Yeah, as it were. If the superimposition is real, super means on top. So the body will be sitting on top of Sat. And Sat says, "Ow, don't squash me." But it is neither superimposition nor supraimposition, nor the imposition, one-sided imposition, two-sided imposition. No. Just a word, superimposition, because really there is no other word for adhyasa. It's a projection. All there is the Atma, and everybody knows this concept in the modern technology, add on. Yeah, you buy something very basic, nothing it does. And then you have to add on. Add on, add on, add on. And those add-ons cost more money than the basic thing, right? Oh, that's how they get you. The body is an add-on. Oh, it can be dispensed with? Yes, that's why antavantah. That's why it is dispensable. We dispense with it all the time. In sleep, where is the body? There is no body awareness at all. But still eye continues, correct? Eye continues in sleep without the body. In dream, you have two bodies. Or depending on what you're dreaming, or many bodies, it's all you. It's all a projection that is poof, withdrawn with the help of the alarm clock. When it rings, all projections, stop ticking. That's all happens. Everything stops. So the body is Mrigatrishnavat. It is and it is Sadbuddhihi Anuvritta, means that which is just, it is dependent upon the Satbuddhi, and Pramana Nirupanante Vichchidyate. What happens to the mirage at the end of the operation of the proper Pramana in the form of the eyes? Vichchidyate, it dissipates. Just like that, the body also dissipates. Even when it's still here, it's gone. It's born, it is, and it's gone. And then, no need to panic, because very soon, in the very next sentence, which is also a paragraph, he says, Nityasya sharirinaha shariravataha anashinah aprameyasya atmanah antavantah iti uktaha viveki ityarthaha. However, just because the body is gone, right now we have seen how the body is mithya. It doesn't take time to say that the body is mithya. Two ways you can say the body is mithya. One is, what exactly is the body? Is this body? No, that's your arm. Is this body? No, that's a finger. Is this body? No, that's the nose. Is this body? No, that's the toes. And so what is body? All of them put together is the body. So if you just put some body parts together, that's a body. No, that's also not a body. And then again, in that way, it's mithya, because even as we try to put it together, it's falling apart. And that the body is falling apart, you have Sakshi Pratyaksha Pramana. You have the witness. You are the witness of all the things falling apart. Every day, a new body part refuses to cooperate, and the other one refuses to work, continues to refuse to work. So you already know it's falling apart. And in fact, that is proved every single day that it's falling apart. Yeah, one more screw is loose. And everything is kept creaking somehow, But it's all falling apart all the time. And so therefore, no need to panic, because this body that is falling apart is really a cracked, infrastructure, as it were, which is housing the Nitya, the indweller, Sharirin, the one who is in the Sharira, Sharir in. So, the one who, just like Vedantin, who is a Vedantin? One who is in Vedanta, Sharirin, Dehin. Yeah. So, the body is housing the one who is what? Inside this body, so to speak, and again inside, outside is, dependent on space. Space also is a concept. that has come out of this sharirin alone. So you cannot say Atma is inside the body, just like you cannot say space is inside this pot. But what's in the pot? Other pots. Who said anything about space? But even if we were to say space is inside the pot, and then we can make it into a Zen koan. Is pot in space or is space in pot? And then everybody will be confused for the next hour. Correct? So really speaking, pot is in space and space is in pot. When you say space is in pot, as though space is not, bound inside of the pot, much less the I, the Atma, is bound or trapped in this, dilapidated body. It's not. And so therefore he says Nityasya Sharirinaha. So for this Shariri, for the one who is in the indweller of the body, for lack of a better term, as though the one who is dwelling inside the body and feeling trapped, that's a different thing. That's the jiva. But the one who is inside this body, as it, so to speak, the witness, the one who is known as the witness. Like no matter what a horrible feeling one is having, one says, I feel horrible. The I is joining that horrible feeling. So the I is not joining it. It's first the witness. Even when you say, I feel horrible, what you're really saying is, I am the witness of a horrible feeling. This is what the whole thing is. So that witness is unsullied by any physical, mental, situational, spiritual, emotional trauma. It's unassailed. The trauma does not touch the I. Therefore it is limitless, nitya. This is what is said. So therefore, that the body is keeping on falling apart and that the body is subject to anta need not be the anta of the matter, because there is something much more than this body. We are talking of that which the body is not lasting. That is not rocket science. Everybody knows this. But what is truly amazing is that which powers this body and makes one say body is, that is always there and unchanging, and that is the one called Sharirin. And then whereas the first one vichidyate, dissipates, this one doesn't dissipate. This one doesn't dissipate. Even though the body is like Swapna Mayadi Dehadivat, like even this body is like the dream body. Dream body dissipates when the dream ends. This body dissipates when prarabdha ends. That's all it is, when the karma ends. But no need to get afraid, because nityasya sharirinaha shariravataha anashinaha aprameyasya atmanah antavanta iti uktaha iti vivekibhihi. Who says this? Ukta means nityasya uktaha. Who is doing this ukti? Vivek, the vivekin, vivekinaha, the people who are in viveka, having viveka. The vivekin is saying these are not subject, the indweller is not subject to any of the travails of the body. Nityasya anashinaha iti na punaruktam nityasya dvividhatvat loke nashasya cha. Here what, he says, the Bhagavan Krishna says nityasya sharirinaha anashinaha. Nitya means what? Everlasting, eternal. Anashinaha, indestructible. Lest one think that those are synonyms. And why is the Veda something that Gita is not Veda, but still it is revered as an Upanishad. And so why is the Shastra coming under the fallacy of Punarukti? Punarukti means what? Repeating itself again and again, the fallacy of redundancy. Adi Shankara says it is not redundancy, because there are two kinds of Nityatvam and two kinds of Nasha. Two kinds of quote unquote everlasting things, and two kinds of quote unquote when you say destruction, there are two kinds of destructions. So both nasha, destruction, and nityatvam, which is nityatvam, everlastingness, has eternity, so to speak, has a twofold meaning. Dvividhavatvam asti, dvividhavatvena jnayate, jnayete. These two are known in a particular way, and so therefore to nivaranartham, to remove the wrong meaning of indestructible and the wrong meaning of nitya, therefore it is used together, so that the wrong meanings are gone. What are the wrong meanings? Like yesterday we talked about this. Somebody who is, let's say somebody who is sick, has been diagnosed with some terminal disease, they have just 3-4 days to live. And discussing this person, one may say, that person is as good as destroyed. Meaning what? It's a terminal declaration by the doctor. The doctors have given no hope. This person is destroyed, and that person may say, I am as good as gone. I'm destroyed. Right? Yeah. That is one kind of destruction, but it's not really destroyed because that person is saying I am destroyed while talking. Very interesting. And then in another case, you can say that there is great devastation because of the floods. So many villages were, razed to the ground, and because of the tsunami and floods in this particular coastal town. Now that is also a destruction. How is that destruction different from destruction? This is yet to be destroyed, but we say destroyed, as good as destroyed. That was destroyed and we still say destroyed, correct? So there is two kinds of meanings of the word destruction. And here it wants to negate both. So therefore, avinashi, anashi, anashin. And then nitya also has two kinds of nityatvam are there. Nityatvam is there. What is nitya? Veda is nitya. Veda is always there. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought Atma was always there. Veda comes with the creation. But Atma also comes with creation? No. Atma is the one who creates. Veda comes in every cycle of creation, because in every cycle of creation spews out a whole bunch of jivas who are atimudhas, who are deluded about why they are put here, what they have to do, because the pressure of the karmas, they ask for wrong things, and then they want a playing ground to resolve these karmas, to swing from karma to karma, to slide down the chute of karma, to seesaw karma, they want a playground. They want a what's it called? Playground? That's what it's called? Yeah, a playground, a park, And, some people, want to do this, some people want to do gymnastics, all kinds of karmas to accommodate. Bhagavan creates a playground. And then in this playground, so that one is not keeping on doing pull-ups, either they keep pulling themselves up or they're pulling someone else up. So that they don't keep doing that, Bhagavan also throws in the Veda for free. Yeah. Along with the slips and the slides and the swinging from one useless activity to another, and seesawing between doubts and despair, Bhagavan gives the gift of the Veda, discreetly puts the book also in the playground. Yeah. And Veda includes what? Vedanta. Veda has to include Vedanta, because it's all Veda only. And so Bhagavan puts the book there. Of course, everybody is interested in lining up for the swings and the, what is that? Huh? Yeah, seesaw, that is correct. But there is also something, at least in Indian playgrounds, this fellow comes with a cart. indulge me here. This is fun. The fellow comes with a cart, and then he does something like this, and then some big pink thing comes.
Cotton candy. Cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Cotton candy. Yes, it looks like a big thing. It's just color and sugar, nothing else. And he makes it look like a trick. He just goes inside, does something, and then he whips out this huge thing, and it's such a disappointment because you start to eat it and all the body parts stick to one another. And you go home like this. And it is over before you know it. It's nothing, it's all blown out of proportion. That is what karma phala, this candy man. Candy man is Chitragupta. Candy, what is that? Cotton. Candy cotton is this karma phala. That's all. He hands you the sweet karma phala, which puts you in a sticky situation. Why in a sticky situation? Because it comes at the end of a stick. And in India, they just use any twig available off the ground. Maybe not anymore. But in my time, that's what they did. So all the children line up. So here, this is a proverbial playground. So the big line is for the candy, candy cotton. And then other thing is this groundnut wala. The groundnut and groundnut. What is peanut? Yeah, groundnut. We call it groundnut. And then it is served in so many different ways. And all there is, it's not like, huge mega bucket portion like here. Here if you show how much groundnuts one person can eat, it will give the Ayurvedic doctor, the Vaidya, a heart attack. Yeah. Vaidya will need another Vaidya to resuscitate. Groundnuts, peanuts, all these things, these kinds of nuts should be eaten in small, little portions. And in the playground, this man is selling groundnuts. And all these nicely, there is a stove, and then there is a freshly dry roasted right there, and a little bit he will take out right from that, what is this, kadhai, this wok, in this big wok it will be doing, and he'll take out a little scoop, and to that he will do what kinds of things, lemon and pepper and cut up vegetables and grated carrots and everything, and then just stick another twig and give it. When seeing that, everything waters, mouth waters, eyes water, everything waters, and then you stand there, and then another fellow is fanning something, and then you go in the playground, and you go closer, and it is that corn on something. What is the
cob?
Huh? Cob. Yes. What is cob?
The inside of the corn. After you eat all the corn.
So corn still which is on the cob. Yes. And so then that one he is roasting over a flame, and then fanning that flame, and then putting all various things on it, rubbing a slice of lemon on it, and then giving it. And of all the people are just standing in line for these treats. One sole fellow is approaching the book. The Veda. Sole person, And two people are sitting there, Guru and Shishya, with the book in between them. Whereas everybody is going and, and of course, let's not forget the sorry go round, which is the central attraction of this playground, where all the jivas go for a spin. Do the same thing again and again. So while all these fellows are doing this, what is happening here? In the Veda, no takers. But the Veda was there, is there in the nascent stages of the playground. Because before the playground was, frequented by dinosaurs, the Veda was still there. Of course, the dinosaurs sniffed at the book and went away. They didn't know what to do with it. Then the humanoid came and, may have used the book of the Veda to bash up something and to make the food, whatever it is, we don't know. But the Veda was there. And but before it was book, where it was there in the head of the rishis, the Veda was there. It was given to the rishis, and then only it came in the form of manuscripts. And the first manuscript was just goat food, and then the second manuscript, the third manuscript, everybody wrote it down painstakingly later on. And then so the Veda has always been there. And when this cycle of creation ends, and then after a little reprieve, the other cycle of creation starts, Veda will come. Veda is Nitya. Is it more Nitya than Atma or is equal to Atma? No. This is what is called Pravaha Nityatvam, a kind of a long term everlastingness. Like even the sun is everlasting, the earth is everlasting, meaning it will outlast me. That's all it, outlast this body, mind, sense complex. That's all it means. So that kind of Nityatvam also one has to distinguish it from. So therefore, it says here that this is a different kind of, this is when you say indestructible and Nitya together, it wards off these foolish, these time-bound meanings of Nitya. Because even the Veda, if it's Nitya, like Brahmaji is Nitya, but then at the end of the Yuga, they get recalled and they get dispossessed of their portfolios. Lord Yama has to hand in his keys, and Lord Brahmaji his badge, Karta, Jagat Karta badge. And so like this, Vishnu has to hand in Chakra and put all the things. This is what it is. And so therefore what? Therefore this whole thing is very beautiful. Very beautiful. Because Anashi and then, what was the other one? Nitya. The Shariri is not like the Veda. Shariri is not like the Veda, neither like Prithvi and sun, which has a certain kind of lastingness, and neither is the Shariri, indestructible, like in the sense of this destruction. No. And the two used together ward off the rudhyartha, artha of the words nasha and of the words nitya. So therefore, this is what he says. That's all he says, in the Bhashya. He says, Yatha dehe bhasmi bhutah adarshanam gatah nashtah iti uchyate vidyamanopi अन्यथा परिणतः व्याध्यादि उक्तः जातः नष्टः उच्यते. Same thing. We have to see this. Nothing much to say. तत्र अनाशिनो नित्यस्य इति विविधेन अपि नाशेन असंबन्धः इति अस्य अर्थः. So meaning that this kind of indestructibility has nothing to do with the destruction of, that in the everyday talk of destruction. When somebody loses the job, they say, I'm devastated. They are not devastated. They are fine. But this is what they say. So it's not that kind of a destruction. Indestructible really means indestructible. That is what it says. And then pakshe, in the vipakshe, in the other paksha, talking about nitya. Anyatha prithivyadivat api nityatvam syat atmanah tad ma bhutiti nityasya anashinah iti aha. Meaning, lest one thing, ma bhut, may it not be, what? That this nityatvam of the Atma is seen as just like the earth and the sun are nitya. Atma is also nitya. No. This is truly nitya. Those are just words that are used in the everyday parlance. Aprameyasya, na prameyasya pratyakshadi pramanaihi aparichhedyasya ityarthaha. So, his aprameya means he just, says that which is not the object of any pramana, which is pratyaksha, which is direct perception, etc. Now, who comes out? Nanu makes a visit. A nice change from the previous fellow whose name was Itichet. Yeah. So, Itichet is sleeping and Nanu wakes up. Yeah, Nanu means the objector. Objector says, what does he say? Agamena atma parichhidyate pratyakshadina cha purvam. He says, you only said Atma is known by the Agama, which is Veda. Atma has to be known by Vedanta. You only said that Shabda, the words of Vedanta, are the correct means to know the Atma. Didn't you say that? Didn't you say that? I heard you say that earlier in the introduction. Didn't you say that? Yeah, I said that. So what? Well, now he's going in for the Hanana Kriya, the kill, And what does he say? He says that, Agamena, therefore, Atma Parichidyate. Yeah, you said Atma is not an object of pramana. Is Atma the object just like flower? No. It's not the object of the eyes, the hearing, much less tasting, touching, smelling, inference, etc. Atma is not an object. But it's an object. It is paricheda. It is delimited by being dependent on the Veda to unfold it. What are you going to do now? And Nanu looks around for approval. This is what people do sometimes when they ask question in satsang. They ask a very controversial question and then they look around trying to gather other followers. Yes. And Adi Shankara always gives a simple answer first. What is that? Na. He says Atma, and very simple. Atmanaha svatah siddhatvat. We saw this yesterday, that's why we can enjoy it, nicely. The Shastra does not really talk about the Atma as an object, does not establish the Atma, in other words. Oh, it doesn't? No, it doesn't. Oh, well, I guess the Nanu was in me then. Yes, that's why the Nanu is brought out. The Nanu is brought out and dredged out of the inner antahkarana. Oh, so Shastra doesn't establish the I? No. Why not? Swatah siddhatvat. The I is already established. Oh, who established I? I established I. Oh, I established I? Yes. So that is the meaning of this Sanskrit word Swatah siddha. Yes. A thing to be known needs to be either revealed by a pramana, by a means of knowledge, or it has to reveal itself. Only two ways. It has to be revealed by a means of knowledge, like the sun, like the moon, like so many things in the world, flower, pot, mango, everything. It's revealed by a means of knowledge, and we have seen what the means of knowledge are, and here we can include the Shastra Pramana also. Or it has to, what is the other possibility? Or it doesn't need to be revealed. Why? Because it reveals itself. If somebody came, somebody hitched a ride from Mars and came down back with Curiosity. Curiosity? Rover. Yeah, that is its full name. Last name Rover. It did a very sweet thing. This Curiosity Rover, celebrated its birthday, a few days ago. And what did it do? It celebrated 1 year of going to Mars and staying there. And it took a selfie. A sad, lonely little photo of itself. Who else is there? No one. And then sent it SMS'd it to NASA to celebrate its anniversary. 1 year of being on the red planet. Curiosity rover. Correct? Yeah. So supposing there is some jiva, Martian jiva, who comes down on Curiosity and doesn't know anything here, and you want to show this Martian jiva the sun, then will you hunt for a flashlight to show the sun? Why? It shows that because of the sun you are able to hunt for the flashlight. Okay? That is how the Atma is. It doesn't need a small little flashlight of a pramana to show it, because in order to search for the flashlight, you need the light of Atma. This is what it is. Just like you won't show someone the sun, an alien, being who has visited the earth for the first time, you won't show them the sun by shining the flashlight. You cannot, and in fact you can, but you need not, right? Therefore, that is what it means, is self-shining, like even 1,000 suns. More than 1,000 suns, we have to stop somewhere, we say 1,000. It's just, it's self-shining Atma. Self-shining Atma, yes. Huge self-shining Atma. And what is this self-shining Atma? That which is already evident to itself, and that which brings everything else to light. So therefore, Mr. Nanu or Ms. Nanu, whoever you are, Nanu or Nani, Nanvi, whoever you are, you know what? Your argument is not correct. Why? Because Atma is not established by the Shastra Pramana. What is Shastra Pramana? By the Shastra being used as a means of knowledge. Why? It is Swatas Siddha. It is a neon Atma, itself shines. Yes, and everything comes to light. It is the light of knowledge. It is that which is sentient, conscious and limitless, indestructible. It just is, and you don't have to rely on, depend on another means of knowledge to know it. And elucidating this point further, he says some nice things. Siddhehi atmani pramatari pramitsoho pramananveshana bhavati. Siddhehi atmani pramatari, only when, Siddhehi atmani means only when the Atma is existent, then only the pramitsu, pramatum ichu, the desire, the one who is desirous of knowing is born. The knower is a superimposition on the Atma, as it were. Yesterday we saw that. That oceanic consciousness, the way which sustains the wave called knower and the wave called object known. This is what he is talking about. So pramitsuhu, just like ditsuhu, datum ichuhu, pramitum ichuhu. The one, the desirous of knowing. The desirer of knowledge is predicated upon what? The existence of the Atma, correct? If the Atma itself has to be established, how will this person inquire into the Shastra? Because how will the Pramata that depends on the Atma even look for a Guru? Because how will you go to the Guru? I am desirous of knowledge. So you say, oh, I don't know. Nobody goes to the Guru saying, I don't know if I exist or not, Bho Guru. Please establish me. If that's the reason you are going to the Guru, please don't go. This is what I will say. Because the Guru, that's what the Guru will say. The Guru will say, I only teach Vedanta. And Vedanta does not establish the Atma. What does it do? It teaches about the Atma, which is fraught with misconceptions, wrong understanding, misunderstanding. So it is misunderstanding, nivartakaha, removal. So the remedy to self-ignorance is the nivartanam, the removal of what? No, wrong understandings of the self. The remedy to self-ignorance is not the removal of self-ignorance, even though that is true, but here I have already used up the word self-ignorance, so you have to come up with some other thing. This has already been appropriated. So the remedy to self-ignorance is removal of wrong understanding upon which this ignorance is predicated and has staying power. Yeah, that is what it is. So ignorance does not cause problems. Every dog is ignorant. But yet it does not say, why only in my case there is a spelling mistake, I should be God, why am I dog? this is a dogged existence. No dog says that. Dog is more or less, if it's not mistreated or abused, it is happy being what it is. It's happier than the human being, actually. That's why people have dogs. Because it has unconditional happiness, unconditional capacity to forgive and forget. All misdeeds it forgives happily. That is why it is a joy. It is ignorant. Cat is ignorant. Cow is ignorant. Yet there is nothing more miserable than an ignorant human being. All these animals do not need Vedanta. They don't. Not in this life. Yeah. They can only, sit in class. That's all. I'm told a lot of dogs and cats take your class. It's a very dubious distinction. So then what? So therefore, something else is, happening here in the case of a human being. The human being is also, subject to ignorance, just like the cat, dog and the earthworm, But there is one more special thing about the human being. As a result of this ignorance, because it is as though Mother Maya, Mother Nature, gave her everything in creating this fellow, in creating the body-mind-sense complex. Free, this consciousness is uninhibited. It's free enough. It's not programmed. It is uninhibited. In the animal we have the consciousness that is programmed. They are conscious. They are conscious of themselves. They are conscious of their own species, that is for procreation. And they are conscious of other species, that is for survival. That's what it is. If one's, what is that big dog?
Great Dane.
Great Dane, meets one pocket dog. There are these in Los Angeles especially. Everybody has one dog in the purse. I don't know why.
It's very strange.
Small tiny dog. It's afraid of everything. That's why it goes inside the purse all the time. Perhaps it can be trained to hand the keys. Fifi, give me the wallet. Fifi, are there 50 cents? I need some change. So perhaps it can be trained, I don't know. But all these women, especially I don't not seen men, but women, and there are various bags for these dogs. This is how, I travel and I pick up all these things. And so any plane going to California, especially Los Angeles, has 2 or 3 travelers with these bags, and you just think it's a bag, and suddenly the head it's looking around. Tiny dog. It will stand on your palm of your hand. Tiny dog. So if this Great Dane meets this pocketbook dog, and the pocketbook dog will first go inside this huge thing. Then, from the safety of its bag, it will also growl. Great Dane is too great to growl. It will just say, who are you, Yeah. But the Great Dane is not going to chase it, mistaking it for a cat. Even though this fellow is smaller than the cat. No. Because there is a, interspecies recognition for survival and an intra-species recognition for procreation. This is what the programming is all about. Plus there is a free will. That's why we can enjoy the personality of the various cats and dogs. One of them is quiet, so quiet that you feel like handing a japamala to it. And maybe it will start telling the beads, it is a sadhu cat. Not possible, but anyhow, so archetype perhaps. And then one of them is so naughty, one of them is so, innocent. So they have their personalities, little bit of free will is there, but the free will is programmed, more or less it is programmed. In the human being, the free will is free enough to make a mistake centered on the I as a result of this ignorance. Ignorance, agrahanam, mistake, anyatha grahanam. So grasping myself wrongly, thinking myself to be nashi, anitya, etc., etc. For a start. I mean, so many other things, but we'll start there. So therefore, supposing one has all these complexes centered on the I, but the I is yet to be established, that is why. So you go to the Guru, and what are you going to do first? How are you going to approach the Guru? Adhihi Bhagavo, Atma iti. You'll have to say Adhihi Bhagavo. Means please teach me about the I. You cannot say because the I is not even there. So please establish me, you'll have to say. And Guru says, that's not my job. You are already established. So therefore, he makes the very important point that only when the I is there can the I recognize I am ignorant, I need help drastically and badly and right now, and I have the desire of knowledge. How is that recognized? It's all predicated upon the existence of the I. So it's wrong to say that the teaching establishes the I. The teaching doesn't establish the I. Oh, says Nanu, what does the teaching do? Let's find out. And then he says, so pramana anveshana means analysis. Using the pramana comes through what? Through the self-existent I alone is predicated about that. Nahi purvam ithamaham iti atmanam apramaya paschat prameya parichedaya pravartate. No one, without knowing I am so and so, ithamaham, without knowing that before, goes in for any kind of pramana activity, whether it is pratyaksha pramana or shastra pramana. Nahi atma nama kasyachit aprasiddho bhavati. Atma nama means the word I. Nobody says, I don't know the meaning. What are you talking about? I. What is I? Nobody says what is I. It's more likely the person will say, if supposing I say, Vedanta talks about the I. Nobody says what is I. It's more likely they'll say what is Vedanta. I is prasiddha, means it is already there, it is well known. I is famous. So if the Vedanta teacher says, Vedanta talks about the I, the student will say, it's talking about me? Really? Oh, wonderful. This is what the thing is. So the I is famous. I is well known, and that's why it is there in front of every gadget. iPhone, I talk, I watch, and all kinds of things. iPad, iPod, so many things. Everything is there. And therefore, this I is ubiquitous and well known. And then furthermore, and Shastram too. So what's the point of the Shastra? Why go to the teacher? Throw the Shastra along with the water. What is that? Baby along with the bath water. So what is the use of the Shastra? Shastram too, but however the Shastra, antyam pramanam atadharma adhyaropana matra nivartakatvena pramanatvam atmani pratipadyate natu ajñartha jnapakatvena. The Shastra as a means of knowledge operates not as ajñartha jnapakatva, means not as ajñata jnapakartha, means it's not bringing to light the unknown I, because the I happens to be known. What is it doing then? It is only doing, it's the final pramana, antyam pramanam, the final pramana for what? Atad dharma. What is that? What is that? Sat. That is Sat. That is Jagat Karanam Brahma. Always remember this. The Brahman as the cause of the universe. Tat means Ishvara. So Tat Dharma means what? Attributes connected to Ishvara. What are they? Anashi, Aprameya, indestructible, limitless, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, quote unquote attributes. Nature of Ishvara is called Tat Dharma. What is Atad Dharma? Not Tat. Not Tat is called Atat. Yeah. No need to look around. Tat is atat, not tat is what? Atat. What is so tat dharma means the characteristics or the definitions, the words that define Ishvara. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarva Vyapi, all these things. And that is called Tad Dharma. The glory of Ishvara is called Tad Dharma. What is Atad Dharma? That which describes the inglorious Jiva. Words that describe the not so glorious Jiva. What are they? Limited, finite, I feel weak, I must be weak, and then something is happening, and I don't know what's going to happen, I'm no good, I'm an idiot. No matter how much I try, I don't get what I want. These are all atad dharmas. Tad dharma is what? Sarva vyapi. Sarva bhuteshu gudha. That which pervades everything. That which is the truth of everything. That which is all powerful, all knowledge. This sentient conscious being out of which this whole jagat has as though come without undergoing any change. This is all Tad Dharma. That is really the story of the Atma. Satyam, Nityam, Anantam, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Atma. Already free. Already pure. There is not a single whiff of impurity. There is no tainting. There is no disconnection. There is no sullying. Not at all. This is Tad Dharma. And Tad Dharma gets distorted into Atad Dharma because of the mad mind of this Jiva. Yeah. Why? We already saw that. This is what is called the mistake. Because I don't know who I am, I becomes a sitting duck for all kinds of, wrong superimpositions. Adhyaropa. What is aropa? That which happens to a rope. Yeah. This is a good way to learn Sanskrit. So, what happens to a rope? What happens to the rope? It's mistaken for a snake. That is what is called aropa. Any kind of projection is called aropa. And the rishis knew that the English, they were Duradarshis, they knew that the rope word would be used. That's why they called it long ago aropa. And then, so what? So here it becomes a sitting there. Atad dharma adhyaropa matra nivartakatvena pramanatvam atmani. So the pramana vyavahara, the action of the shastra as a means of knowledge, the operation of the means of knowledge, called the Bhagavad Gita, called the Upanishad, is limited only to as a nivartaka, as a warder offer of what? Of these wrong, inglorious, jivic conclusions. The finite conclusions that this fellow manages to have, even though the fellow happens to be infinite. Somehow comes to the conclusion, I am an idiot. These conclusions are, warded off by the operation of the Shastra Pramana. And yesterday we also saw one more thing, Aprameya, the Vritti Rupena also we saw. And so, everybody is looking blank, Anyway, so you can listen to yesterday's class. So, this is what it is. So, Matra means only here. Nivartakatvena pramanatvam atmani pratipadyate. Natu, not, its job is not ajnata arthagyapakatvena. It's not to remind you that you exist. That's not how it operates. And what does Nanu do? Asks for his feeding bottle and goes away. Nanu is gone. Tatha cha shruti yad sakshad aparokshad brahma yaha atma sarvantaraha iti. So he quotes the Brihadaranyaka, which talks about the swatasiddhatvam of the Atma, which talks about the Atma as being self-existent, self-revealing. And what does that Shruti say? Sakshad aparokshad brahma. This Brahman is already evident. Aparoksha, never remote. Never remote. You don't need to press a button for the I to come into, to come into being. Like you press the remote. No, never remote. Always present. And on this presence, because this presence is, the presence is not unknown. The glory of this presence is unknown. The mahima, the glory of this presence is unknown, unassimilated. So the presence becomes susceptible to all distortions. It just lies there, accommodating every single distortion that you throw upon it. You tell the Atma, I think you're no good. And Atma never protests. Okay, fine. I think you are subject to rage. Oh, okay. I think that you don't have manners. Okay. I think you can be nicer. Okay. I think you need to work harder, especially at Vedanta. You're not working hard enough. Okay. Atma is that which says, okay. It's a one word, it's a brief, comment on everything. Okay. And Atma doesn't have any complex because you can put anything on it. It doesn't take it on. Even though it may say, okay, it doesn't. But even though one can imagine it not protesting. Okay means it doesn't protest. But it doesn't take these on. It knows who it is. In a sense, that is what Swata Siddha is. It is immune to any kind of projection. It doesn't, just because it neither takes it on nor wards it off. It's immune. It's unconnected to the projection. It doesn't even look at the projection coming in its way. It doesn't duck. Yeah. Oh, here comes another wrong thing. Maybe I should just go. And neither is it a sad Atma. Why? Instead of become Sat Atma, it becomes sad Atma. No. Why? Because Atma has every reason to be sad. Nobody goes for me. Everybody goes for other things in the park. The Atma book is kept like this. I'm not getting any royalty from Vedanta. I wrote the book, but I'm not, I'm not in who's who, all the famous authors. I'll never get the Nobel Prize. And I will never, and it will never become famous. Not only that, as though this is not bad enough. Furthermore, always people misunderstand me. Nobody loves me. Nobody goes in for me. Everybody goes in for adhyaropita vastu. In fact, I am the one projecting, but they go in for the projection. Nobody sees how hard it is to keep projecting things. Nobody looks at the projector. It's like the movie projector feeling sad. Everybody is clapping at the stupid villain and the silly hero and the heroine. Nobody is seeing that they are all upheld by me. This little box, coming through this little window somewhere. Nobody looks at me. I am hidden. It doesn't have any complex. I'm an introvert. It doesn't have a complex because it is totally secure. And so the job of Vedanta is to remove complexes and to show that this Atma, that you are, this I, is free of all complexes. Which is what? Very simple thing, really. So it's not trying to establish the I. It's trying to, remove the inglorious conclusions about the I. And that is what he says. It's not trying to establish the I at all. And therefore the Shruti says this Atma just is. Yasmat evam nityah akriyah cha atma tasmad yudhyasva yuddhat uparamam ma karshihi ityarthah. So if people don't mind staying for 5 more minutes, may I finish this?
Yes.
Okay. So, nahi atra yuddha kartavyata vidhiyate. So what was the last one? We have seen this. We are just summing it up. Tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Therefore please fight. He says, where is this therefore? Anybody can think. He says, the therefore please fight, Adi Shankara says, is that, Uparamaha uparamam ma karshihi, do not withdraw from battle, he says. Nahi atra yuddha kartavyata vidiyate, he doesn't enjoin Arjuna to do his duty as a warrior. Nowhere is that intended, Adi Shankara says. Then what is intended? Yuddhe pravritte eva hi asau shokamoha pratibaddha tushnim aste tasya kartavya pratibandha apanayana matram bhagavata kriyate. Merely Bhagavan is just trying to remove the pratibandha, the obstacle in the mind of the one who was gung-ho about this battle just a few minutes ago, and then suddenly Tushnim Babhuva sat down. Tushnim means silently, quietly sat down. Aste, sitting down, and then the one who was saying ra ra ra, and beating his chest and blowing his conch just a few minutes ago is now sitting dejected. It's like someone with postpartum depression. The person says, I want to give this baby up for adoption. But you were just so happy a few minutes ago while you were holding it. You were so happy holding the newborn baby and kissing its face and saying, this is so wonderful. What happened just now? Well, I just thought of, 20 years I have to take care of this silly thing. And then it is so painful to even look at it. It looks like a prune and it's all shriveled up, and then it doesn't even look nice, and then it has no hair, it has no teeth. Now it's such a hard work, and already I'm feeling weak, tired and dejected even thinking about this. I think I cannot take care of this baby. I'll give it up for adoption and take sannyasa. If somebody went to Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna will first remove the shoka, the sorrow, and say a few things like, this is, you're not really the doer, you're not all this, he will say, and then he will say, please take care of your baby. Same thing he's saying, because here was a person who was already excited and enthusiastic about the war, and the one who was beating his chest like Tarzan is sitting down and moping. And so to cheer him up and to remove all the obstruction in his own line of where he was going, he says tasmad yudhyasva, not to make him do his duty. And then furthermore, he says that tasmad yudhyasva iti anuvada matram na vidhihi. You have to think of it not as a agnya. Agnya means vidhi, not as an order. Anuvada matram means just taking off from where he left off. And where did he leave Arjuna off? Sitting quietly moping. Like there is one statue which sits like this. What is that statue? The thinker. Yeah. The dejected one. So the one who was sitting like this is being made to tell, come on, you can now enjoy your life, continue to do what you were doing. Shoka mohadi samsaranakara nivartatham Gita Shastram na pravartakam iti. So Gita Shastram na pravartakam. Gita Shastra does not impel you to do any action. Oh, it doesn't? No. All these chapters, it doesn't tell me what to eat and how to go and how to walk, how to talk. No. That's not its purport. Oh, then what is its purport? Shoka mohadi bhaya adipadatvat. So it removes delusion, sorrow, fear, etc., which are the cause of samsara. That is its purport. That is its, what is that? Purport, its purpose. And then, etasya arthasya sakshi bhute richau aninaya bhagavan. So in order to show this, that it is nivartaka, not pravartaka, it removes, its nature is that of a remover, not that of an impeller to action. Bhagavan specially brings in for us two verses from the Kathopanishad. Richau, Richau, Sakshi Bhute. How, in what form? As a witness. Why does Bhagavan need to witness? Because he wants to show the importance of the Veda book lying in the Karma Bhumi called playground. Yeah. And even though he is the authority, he is Bhagavan talking, so whatever comes out of his mouth is Veda. But yet, since the Veda is got that seal of Shruti, the original, work, it has a primacy. He brings in that, and Aninaya Bhagavan, and then he unfolds these two verses. Yattu manyase yuddhe bhishmadayah maya hanyate aham eva tesham hanta iti esha buddhihi mrisha evate. Meaning, he says, if you think that in this battle, all these people, Bhishma, etc., these granddaddies and uncles and teachers are going to be killed by me, and if therefore you are hesitating, this kind of a buddhi thinking is mrisha, is wrong. Mrisha here doesn't mean false, is wrong. So therefore what? Therefore listen. And what shall we listen? We'll listen tomorrow. Very nice 2 verses from the Kathopanishad are coming. We'll listen to them. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Very nice. That's the idea. Crack up all the things that need to be cracked up.